Hey Debbie. Actually, I don't do any outlining when I write. Everything I write is done from scratch. It's called pantsing. What I'll do is I'll come up with an idea. I'll let it kind of simmer in my head for a week, a month, a year, whatever it takes. And when I suddenly feel like I've had this breakthrough and I need to write it, that's when I sit down and I write. Frequently, I have to rewrite the beginnings of my novels because by the end, things have changed so much that the beginning doesn't fit with the rest of the book. So that's how I write. No outlines. It's all kind of by the seat of my pants. So Amy and Shelby want to know what inspires my writing. For me, it can be anything. I have this wild and crazy imagination that I kind of have to keep under control. For instance, for Anathema, we were in the car driving down to my parents' farm, and my daughter said, "Mom, I can see things in the clouds." And I said, "Oh, what shapes do you see?" The perfectly logical question. And she says, "No, Mom, I can see the future." It was in that moment that Anathema was kind of born in my head. It was another few months before I sat down to write it, but that's kind of how my ideas come to me. It can be the most random statement, the most whimsical thing said by a child, anything can kind of snowball into a story for me.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips.
So Kim wanted to know how I balance work and family life because I'm not only a writer, I'm also a wife and a mom. And for 6 years, I was a freelance parenting journalist, and I would sneak in interviews with doctors, psychologists, that kind of thing, for articles while my kids were napping. It wasn't easy. I would have to have the baby monitor on low. I'd have to have a quick escape from the phone if I needed to go get them. It's really hard. So this year, for the very first time ever, both my kids are in school all day long, and I can finally say that I am working all day. Nobody gets in my way, nobody bugs me, and I'm able to enjoy my family at night. So I've been really blessed that this year I've been able to make it work with writing, and I hope that this means I can also pump out a little bit more work faster too, because before I was writing 2 novels a year. I'd like to get around to maybe 3, plus a couple of shorts. So we'll see, but I'm really lucky right now. I know a lot of other people don't have it that easy, and I am really grateful. So what superpower would I have if I could choose one? I expected something like, lasers or spider webs or something to come to my mind, but really the first thing that came to my mind was that I would be like to be the superhero that can fall asleep. I would call myself narcoleptica or something like that. I swear, I cannot sleep well, you guys. I get so nervous and I wake up 3, 4 times in the middle of the night, and I wake up early in the morning and I can't go back to sleep, and it really sucks. So, yeah, if I could have a superpower, it would totally be to fall asleep whenever I want to. So what's the best book I've read all year in 2011? And I've read probably close to 50 books this year, even though they're not all reflected on my Goodreads account. My hands down, my favorite book this year is by Sarah Cannon. It's called Beautiful Demons. It's an absolutely amazing book, and I think everybody should go pick it up. I plowed through her whole series. I loved it. I love the way she writes. I love her storyline. I love her characters, and Sarah's pretty awesome too. If you get to know her, so I would highly recommend that. And it's not because it's an indie book. I've read plenty of traditional books this year too, but I think hands down, Beautiful Demons wins. It should be a movie. It should be a TV show. It should have a line of dolls. So I recommend everybody go out and buy it now. So So Shirley wanted to know how hard it is for me to say goodbye to my characters when I'm done writing. She knows from following me on Facebook that I said I cried when I wrote the last couple pages of Severed. Um, but this is not an easy question to answer because who says I'm done with the characters from Cloud Prophet trilogy?